fucking lit up that time. I mean, they're friggin' lit up. They ain't lit up. That's kind of bizarre. Yeah, kind of is. Trying to make this work. They fucking lit up that time. Yeah. Speakers, display audio. They're friggin' lit up. Input, output.
Hi guys.
Hey, it's Andy. Alright, well, I tried to use this headset like normal people, and it's... Alright, let me go upstairs and try a different one, but other than that, fucked on the headset. So,
Hi guys.
Hi Andy, how are you doing? Alright, well, I tried to use this headset like normal people, and it's... Alright, let me go upstairs and try a different one. Okay, so the number is 702 622 4998. And the
Hey guys.
Delorean with capital D. Hi, Andy, how are you doing? Alright, well, I tried to use this. I see Andy. Boy, I sure hope some other people join us. But
Yeah, it's still early.
There's somebody, I see him there.
I think Gary's here. I think that's Gary.
Gary's here.
Hey, Gary.
How are you?
We have an exciting evening, maybe.
That's cool.
Yeah, it should be interesting. Where are you located, Gary?
Northern California.
Oh, okay.
And hopefully I'll get my Delorean home next spring.
Where is it now?
It's in Los Angeles being worked on.
Ah.
You got to hear the story.
Okay. I like stories.
Yeah, it's a weird one. There was a woman in Northern California, Redding, California, and she got hit by a rock, and it hit her, damaged her windshield and hood. So she took it to Delorean, Huntington Beach for insurance work. And then while she was there, she found Barrett Mitchell online, and he said, let's spend a little bit of money on it and split the profit and sell it. So they took it to Andy and Jose Munoz's house in Winnetonka, Los Angeles. Jose used to work for a Delorean one in the 1980s, and they know what they're doing. He has a lot of experience. So anyway, I gave Barrett Mitchell a check for $27,000. And then when I went, and he had the pink slip, and they had a contract. I never saw a contract. So when I went to register the car, the lady she didn't like the price it sold for, so she went out and got another pink slip, so I couldn't register it.
What?
And then she contacted DMC Houston trying to get a key to steal it back after I paid for it.
Such a nice person.
I know. They just didn't agree, So I finally got a pink slip for it, and then it's been taking a very long time to work on it. It's partly my fault. And then I opted for the stainless steel roof box, and Andy and Jose, they had an OEM part, but I didn't want a stainless steel, so I got that from Josh Benston from the DPI.
Yeah.
And part was $1,600, and then labor turned out to be $1,600, so that turned out to be $3,200, and then Josh says it adds a value of $6,000 to the truck.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that roof box is a job for sure.
Well, the only place that does it is Ohio, Josh, New York, Robert Grady, and Andy and Jose do, but I don't know if DMC Houston does it.
I don't know.
Not too many people do it, so.
It's a smart thing to do after, 40, 50 years now?
Yeah, it's going to be 40 years old. Yeah, it's going to be 40 years old next year, so I thought, what the heck, just take longer. It's already been down there for years, so what the hell.
Yeah, the Delorean I'm working on in Illinois, mean, Swift Walk is okay, but boy, is it rusty. I had to really work on to get that thing cleaned up.
Yeah. Mine was pretty rusty. I thought I'll just go for it. And I had no idea how much the labor was going to be.
You gotta literally disassemble stuff. I see Radek is here. Radek Skalsaki from Japan. Oh, Skalsaki-san!
Welcome in, David from Texas, right, David? Yes. And Matt in Michigan.
Hey, Andy.
How you doing, Matt?
Good.
And the other Matt in Wisconsin. Right?
Can we rename people with their real names? There's a lot of people here I don't know.
I think you can yourself, I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna
change
rename
my name?
myself.
Yeah.
You can go into the participants list, find yourself.
I'll change it for you, Gary, since you're probably on a phone.
Yeah, usually they change it for me. There's my other car.
There you go. Matt.
Baby Yoda has joined the chat. Yep, Baby Yoda has. Yep.
There we go.
Yeah, Bob and Gail.
Yep. Has Andy told anybody what's on the agenda?
I haven't sent it out. I've got 3 computers right now. Right now we are live on YouTube, and I'm trying to just play with the audio. So if you go to RentDelorean's RentDelorean's YouTube channel, we're live on there now. So it's kind of cool.
You know how many people are tuned in?
I can't see. That's interesting. 2. But I think one of them is me because I have it up on my other laptop. But I have a live chat open, and I don't know. I'm playing with this to see if it works. It's very tricky with audio, and as Brian knows, I'm on a headset, so you got to play with the audio on myself plus you, and you guys have to be fed. I don't know. It's so bizarre, but I think it's working. So I don't want to touch it. So welcome everybody from all around, and then it's only 9:05. I wouldn't.
It's 10:05 here in Michigan, Andy.
Oh, it's only 5 minutes after we start, so normally people start jumping in a little bit here and there, but
Well, it's good to see everybody. My latest joke is COVID has only killed 2 of my friends, but it's killed 10 of my friendships.
oh gosh.
So the premise of socializing on the video chat is becoming more and more important.
This is the way.
I like Zoom. Especially when I'm talking to people I know. It's personable. But even if I don't know them personally from a physical meeting, it still is like meeting them. So
I had COVID the first week of December.
Yes, it's been here a lot longer. I've had friends who had it over a year ago. They were working in in the Bellagio in Vegas. And they both, him and his wife got really, really sick. Not the ordinary flu, it was. And these Bellagio gets a lot of Chinese guests. And these things.
Oh, okay.
October year.
My cousin Cindy lives in My cousin Cindy lives in Hawaii, and she was around. The lady from China was visiting in her ukulele class, and she had it in December 2019.
Yep. It's been out there a long time. At least I'll know 2 people who got the vaccine. One of which was in the Moderna study, and the other one was a nurse in Illinois. So it'll get around to people sometime next year. Hopefully before Delorean weekend. We are hardcore planning on Delorean weekend for next year. And, late October or early November, and vaccination certificate may be required for entry. We'll see.
Hey, welcome in Justin in Ohio. Justin, are you using your new Christmas present lamp thing?
No, it's actually out in the garage.
Oh, I was kind of looking forward to seeing your bright face. And Radek, where are you?
In my office.
What state?
In Illinois.
Oh, he's in Illinois. Okay, in my
You know
office.
who that is, right?
Of course, I know who Radek is. I just didn't know where in the world he was. You're in Illinois. Okay.
Yeah, I'm in Illinois.
And then
He's becoming a progressively bigger player in the Delorean community.
I'd say after Delorean weekend, you put your name on the map. Virtual Delorean weekend. And we also have Goguru from the Outer Banks here.
Yeah, he does all my video work for me, and he's brilliant at it.
Semi-brilliant.
It's brilliant to me, and we're going to be talking about video production tonight. You want to start, Andy? Or?
Sure. You're in
Oh,
Vegas. I'm
what
just
about?
changing everybody's name there. So let's see. So David in Texas is new to our chats. David was recently in a how would you describe David? If you unmute yourself. David's not a DeLorean owner, but in his heart he is. You've probably seen some of his, if you've ever seen any kind of remakes of Back to the Future that were built by fans, David was probably in them. So I invited David in because I'm blown away at his costume designs. And not just costume, but you've done props and the brain analyzer. You've got it all. Oh, and he's even has his Marty costume on.
There we go.
Yeah.
He's unmuted now.
Yeah, I had to figure out how to unmute on Zoom. My first Zoom thing on the phone. New
Yeah,
phone.
where'd you get the
as
shirt,
well.
Dave?
Thank you.
And this-
These are actually sewn in. These are actually sewn in.
Oh, that's cool.
So I don't have to worry about getting them on and clipped.
Yeah.
Yes, it's I would call it a fan film remake of the movie. Basically, scene by scene. Some head honchos who decided to take on the project. Broke up the entire movie into like 64 or so scenes.
Yep.
We signed up for a particular scene that we wanted to do or felt we could do well, and we were able to choose any way we wanted to portray it, whether it be live action, animated, CGI, sock puppets, stop motion, whatever you have.
It was great. I've seen it. I've watched it twice. It just came out, what, a week ago, maybe?
Yeah, a week or two ago, yeah.
I think I've watched it twice now. It's just so fun because if you're a fan, you know all the lines, you know the mannerisms, but to see fans do it. I'm going to put a link. Yeah, I'm going to put a link to it. And it's the full length of Back to the Future. So if you have time, sometime, check it.
A number of people did a fan-based recreation of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, probably 5, 6, 7 years ago. And the film producers were so impressed, they invited them to Hollywood and met the real actors, and they actually had a very lengthy discussion of how they recreated the scenes. And it was funny because the studio went, wow, we should have done it that way. It was a lot easier. It's going to be curious to see if something like that happens with DTF. I'm sure Kevin Pike might be able to even comment. If you guys do an editor's cut of how you did the scenes, or well, whatever. Indiana
we
Jones.
do.
It turned out really cool.
We have a separate video done of all the bloopers.
Yes.
We're mostly new to the filmmaking aspect. We had a lot of bloopers, and trying to get the lines just right and all that. So that's a totally separate video on YouTube, and the channel is BTTF Project 85, and they were inspired by the Project 88 team, who last year, or well, actually now 2 years ago, did the second film. There's a ramification of the second film, and someone took that and decided to do the first film, and now we're going to get together with them, and we're all going to work together to do part 3 this year.
Now this was Mark Shields was one of the head guys, right?
No, he was just a participant.
Oh, he was? Oh, I thought this was kind of his. And then who's the guy? Tyler. What's his name?
Tyler Donovan.
Yes, he. Now, was it his baby then?
Nope.
Oh, just another participant.
Yeah, just 2 fans. One of them was Poppy, and she's from the UK, and she goes under the name Brittany McFly. And the other one was Ari Cherubiner. He's from LA.
Okay.
So they were across the world from each other. They decided to get together and produce this thing and ask for people to join in and basically wrangle all the people involved with it.
I loved it.
Someone else come in and do the stitching together of the individual scenes that were submitted.
And that would be Radek's favorite part, right? That's the fun part. Hours and hours and hours of editing.
A lot of editing went in.
The fun part.
Wow. And then, so Bob Brandis is here, and Ryan. And they're going to... And Radek, and you guys are going to talk about a upcoming documentary about John DeLorean, right?
Yes.
Couple series.
Has anybody seen? I don't think anybody has. Andy's seen part 1, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think Andy is the only one who's seen it, except Radek, me, and a few other special people around the world have seen it. We haven't made it public yet because we are submitting it to the Academy for a documentary series award, and you can't go public with it until the Academy has reviewed it. And unfortunately, because of COVID, that's the real problem right now, and it's part of the same problem Jordan had with his film that was submitted to the Academy. Normally, we haven't done that, but this is it's
one of the requirements is that you screen it at a theater, and right now theaters are closed down, so people are having to jump through a lot of difficult hoops before getting it approved by the Academy. There's kind of work trying to get them to recognize internet screenings, but that's sort of up in the air a little bit, so it's been a little more difficult than in a normal year to get them to certify the film.
Yep. So I'll just give you a very quick statement here that basically everything you've read in the media and books and whatever about John DeLorean for the past 40 years, most of it is blatant lies. And I mean really, really lies. And how I found out about this is because in 2015, Northern Ireland declassified most of their documents related to Delorean. And most people are unaware that the contract between Delorean and Northern Ireland was classified by Section 9C of the document itself. So the truth about what went on and money and whatever, nobody's ever known, nobody's ever seen it. And here's the funny part. There are still 4 documents that are classified until the year 2084. That's 100 years.
That's pretty stupid.
That's not stupid. That says some shit went down. That's what it means.
It was intentional. It's not an accident.
Yeah, whatever they're hiding, by the time it finally becomes public information, nobody will care anymore because most people who did were the original. But yeah, they didn't even classify a lot of stuff with Kennedy for over 100 years. So I think one of the major ironies or facts that most people are unaware of. At the time they set up Delorean to do with this drug entrapment, there were two things that were happening in England. One of which most people know, the Thatcher came over and basically tried to screw Delorean royally. And the British government was deathly afraid that Jan2 was going to sue them for breach of contract. And I have the documents from the British government. They're now declassified telexes. So, how do you stop somebody from suing you for breach of contract? Well, you kind of get them busy in some other legal crap. But here's the kicker. When Delorean initially signed, well, not signed, when Northern Ireland initially met with Jan2 and produced a draft agreement in 2 days in May of 77. The last clause of that draft agreement said that the insurance from the Criminal Liabilities Act of 1966 applies, which basically means if the plant gets damaged, burned down, bombed, or whatever, there's an insurance policy to cover that. Which makes sense. Northern Ireland was not exactly the most friendly place at that time, and a lot of shit was being bombed and burned up. So, Delorean made sure he was covered, and then when the final agreement showed up November 1st, lo and behold, that clause is missing. And it required Delorean to go and buy insurance for $1 million a year. Well, $1 million down the drain. Well, that's not really the bad part. The bad part is, most of you know, the Delorean plant was bombed and they had fires, and so Delorean Motor Company filed an insurance claim for $20 million. That insurance claim went through the courts. The courts agreed you're owed $20 million by the British government. And at the same time, the British government is demanding $20 million from Delorean to keep the place going. Wait a minute. You owe me $20 million, yet you're demanding me to get $20 million. So at the time Delorean was supposedly doing a drug deal, the British government owed him legally and adjudicated $20 million. So they tied him up legally so he couldn't sue him for a breach of contract, and the money that he supposedly needed, they owed him. Does that surprise anybody here?
That is very surprising.
It's an actual fact. All the legal documents. That'll be in probably part 7 of the documentary series. But that's kind of. I open with that statement because it just says, holy shit, at the end, when all the shit went down, they owed him money. He didn't have to do this. So it was a setup to stop him from suing for breach of contract.
I was going to actually get this fixed and then I can take it tomorrow.
So that was kind of a number one. And of course, how many of you have heard the GPD story?
Nope.
Does anybody know, want to explain supposedly what GPD is?
I've heard the name. I never heard the story about it.
Okay, well, you may remember the headline that when the Delorean Motor Company in England went to receivership, the receivership, Sir Kenneth Cork claimed there was $18 million missing. Does that ring a bell with anybody? No. So, it was in the press, it was in the U.S. media, and I guess one of the funniest things is literally it was in the U.S. media, the Australian media, the England media, all on the same day, all exactly the same with the same lie. So, well, they're thinking, well, we don't know, we think it's missing. Well, wait a minute, all you got to do is call up Switzerland and say, give me the computer records from this bank account. I want to know what the hell happened. Well, we didn't do that. Well, not exactly. Well, Scotland Yard did it, but the British government never made public that they had done that. So they knew, literally from day one, it was a blatant lie. To the extent of containing that and continuing that lie, in the bankruptcy hearing for Delorean Motor Company of the United States in 1992, if one reviews the judge's summary statement and judgment about that bankruptcy hearing, where the British government continued to lie about that, on the record in front of the judge, and the judge said, wait a minute, I have all of the records from the Swiss bank account because I asked for them, and you're lying. Delorean never stole the damn thing. All of that money went to Lotus to pay for engineering. British government, you lose. So not until the 1992 bankruptcy hearing did the truth about GPD finally come out in the judge's summary judgment. And of course, we've all read that. And it's in all the books. Yeah, so that's going to be another part of it. So here's a funny story. Does anybody out there have the book Delorean, Celebrating the Impossible?
I do.
I've heard of
You
that.
do. Have you got it handy?
I actually have it here in my room. Hang on.
Okay.
Hey, Doug. Wasn't sure if that was Doug or
I can tell Matt's working on something.
Sean Connery over
Feel
there.
it, Matt.
Yep, I had to grab my Celebrating Impossible book.
Okay. If you
All
turn,
right.
turn to the back of the book where they have a listing of our first 1,000 VINs.
Oh, never mind. I'll wait.
Hang on, Bob.
Sure.
I'm doing it one-handed. I'm holding my phone.
What page is it on? Do you have the book there, Dad? No, I don't.
I'll get it.
I'm getting to the page.
Go Guru spoke.
Should we call it Celebrating the Factual Inaccuracies? We'll get there.
All right, Bob. I'm at the beginning of the early VIN reference.
Okay, so there's a page on the left and a page on the right. If you take your cell phone and show the listing of the VINs on the right, you will see. See where it says. It's Mr. Corey Whitehead. Come on down. You're the next contestant. If you look at the bottom of page 433.
Hey, that's the page I'm on.
Okay, you'll see 563, 64, 65, and it says scrapped, right?
Yep, says scrapped.
And then if you turn the next page, which is the really cool one, can somebody hold it up to the screen? Somebody point their camera at the page where it says that those VINs were scrapped? Okay.
Welcome in, John and Corey.
Can you guys
Need
see
a
that?
document camera.
I don't know. Guys,
Oh yeah, let's do that. Hang on. Yes, we need a document camera. Hang on, this'll work. All right. We're going hot.
While they're doing that, I want to welcome in John from Atlanta, Georgia, and Corey
buddy.
from
Hey,
Canada.
John.
Hi, Corey.
Hey, there's Corey. So you see this go scrap, 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 scrap. Hopefully everybody can see that. Yes, we see a bunch of VINs that are labeled as scrap. How many are there? Close to 88. Which is an interesting coincidence.
That's
But
interesting number.
I looked at that, and I've been in the Delorean community a long time. And I said, no, that's wrong. But wait a minute. It's published in a book that is fairly recent. How could these errors be in this book? So, I don't know if anybody here knows Newt Grimswald. No.
I know Clark
Well, way
Griswold.
back in the late
Is he the
80s.
guy that died in the skydiving accident?
No, that was Cliff.
Okay,
Newt from Northern California put together a list of basically all the Delorean VINs and their owners. And that list eventually got turned over to Texas, which now maintains it. Not Houston, but the Texas Delorean Club. So, of course, I have Newt's list. So I pull up Newt's list and I go, wait a minute. These cars are not scrapped. They are registered to Consolidated Fleet Rentals. Well, wait a minute. But this book says they're scrapped. I have another thing that says they're all owned and were bought by Consolidated Fleet Rentals. Well, I've never heard of Consolidated Fleet Rentals. So we go to the internet and go, Consolidated Fleet Rentals. Oh shit, they're a real company. And oh, by the way, here's this copy of the original rental purchase agreement with Delorean Motor Company from Consolidated Fleet Rentals for 88 Deloreans. Wait a minute, this says they're scrapped. This says they're not scrapped. And here's this legal document saying, yep, we bought all those cars. So what is in the back of this book? A lie? Oh no, it couldn't be that. Must be an error. Wait a minute. The actual numbers and contract have been out there since the late 80s. Is that a lie? Is it a mistake? I don't know what you want to call it, but it's definitely wrong. So here we have 88 cars that were bought by Consolidated Fleet Rentals. And what were those cars for? So those cars were rented back by Delorean Motor Company for all of the dealers in the United States to have a car that they can drive. Totally legitimate. The contract went on for a total of 4 years, and those cars eventually got sold to a number of now owners. But wait a minute, the book says they're scrapped. So that I thought was a bit odd. So I decided to realize that 88 Deloreans is almost $8 million worth of sales. And these are cars were in the first 2 shipments to the United States. So here I am, an executive at the Delorean Motor Company in Ireland. I just shipped my first 2 shipments to the United States, and most of those cars went to Consolidated Fleet Rentals, and we got $8 million worth of income. And there was, when I posed this question to some of the executives, retired executives from DMC Ireland, the response was, I know nothing about this. Wait a minute. Your first major sale worth $8 million and you know nothing about it? Something very, very wrong here. So that was the CFS story, and I have all the documents. It'll be in the video. Oh, okay. Dale says I should give you an overview of the 7 segments.
Hey, real quick. Hey, Doug, can you hear us? Have you ever heard any? You've been in the community for a very long time, right, Delorean owner? Have you ever heard any of this?
I heard the $18 million number. Actually, I thought it was 17, but semantics. So yeah, I had heard about that. There's a lot of back and forth as to whether or not this money was missing, and it was proved, I think, both ways, that it was missing, but then it wasn't missing, and it really never, in my opinion, but I haven't done any research to the point that Bob has. But yeah, I remember that number. The scrap cars, the cars that were rented or sold to the rental company, Consolidated, I think they were I believe, my opinion, I don't have the research that Bob does. My opinion is they were sold. There was some bookkeeping done to prevent from a proper sale to be put on the books. I work in sales, and I know how things can be massaged. So my first thought is that they weren't booked as sale revenue, so somebody didn't get a commission. I mean, that's the very first thing. But I believe that those cars weren't scrapped. They were removed from marketability. In other words, we can't sell them anymore. Yeah, because they're already sold. So I think that some funny bookkeeping went on for that purpose. But again, I'm going to bow down to Bob. I don't have the research that Bob has.
Yeah, I've been at this now for over 3 years, and the stuff I have found, it just blows me away. But that's part of what I've done throughout my career, a lot of investigative stuff. So, but anyways, the documentary series is going to be at least 7 parts, and part of the persona that has been presented to people of what John DeLorean was like is very, very misleading, and in most cases it's really
Sensationalized.
Say it again.
Sensationalized.
So, just a quick story. I know, because of my career, I know the 2 airbag experts in this country, which was Jack Martin, he's dead now, and Byron Block, who was a famous expert in the Pinto exploding gas tank case. And believe it or not, both of those people were hired by John DeLorean. Jack Martins is the guy who worked on building the airbag DeLoreans, and Byron Block was the safety consultant on Proto One. They both know I'm making this documentary series. So John DeLorean actually built the first airbag General Motors car in 1966. It was a Pontiac Catalina, and he worked with Jack Martins on it.
Bob, what in the chat? John said, "Oh, airbag DeLoreans." What exactly is that?
That means you have an airbag in the steering wheel, and you have an airbag on the passenger side.
Why did that never become a thing?
It was probably a cost issue. But here's a great anecdote about it. There's a whole thing about safety cars back then, and I'm not going to go into it because it's lengthy and it's complex. But John DeLorean was the last man standing in the contest to build a 50-mile-per-hour crash safety vehicle. Rick, when they put out of business, Calspan and mini cars were out there, but the government tried to destroy those cars. So John DeLorean was the last man standing. They gave 2 cars with airbags to DOT to test. Here's free couple DeLoreans that got airbag tests. Oh, by the way, when you test them, make sure your dummies, crash dummies, are not belted in when you test the car. So if you have the opportunity to carefully look at the DeLorean crash test videos from this country, you will see that the crash test dummies are not belted in.
It's a dual stage airbag.
And airbags work fine, the dummies were fine. So John DeLorean won the safety vehicle contest. Well, shit, that can't happen. So, John, here's another thing about airbags. Most of you probably do not know that John DeLorean testified in Congress for Allstate Insurance on the cost effectiveness of airbags on May 21st, 1975. And as a result of that testimony, GM killed his remaining $600,000 bonus. And because he testified to Congress with facts and figures on the cost effectiveness of airbags, the Department of Transportation said, you guys got to put airbags in. So he was very disliked because he revealed to Congress the truth about the cost effectiveness of airbags. And there's a whole other story of what happened after that. But the reason we have airbags in cars today, thank you, John DeLorean. He's the guy who made it possible. How many lives has he saved? I don't know, 50,000, 100,000. But do you ever hear his name about saving people's lives because he was the one who developed airbags for cars? You never hear that. Nope, John DeLorean. Oh, he's a drug dealer. No, he was a guy who really cared about people and their lives.
7-part series.
Okay, sorry. I keep going off on tangents. Okay. So,
Hey, John, where did you find those? Are you watching them now? Are they on YouTube? John said he's watching the...
Yes, I am watching it on YouTube. I will share that in the chat.
The crash.
For a second, I was like, that 7-part series is out already?
No way. At least.
The 7-part series.
So part 1 is about John DeLorean when he was young, up to his Packard days. A lot of people don't know that John DeLorean grew up in an integrated family and environment. His mother's sister married a black guy in California, and they lived a number of years with them. And he grew up in a mixed racial neighborhood, and he played the saxophone and the clarinet, and he played in black and tan jazz clubs in Detroit for years. He was a very, very strong advocate of minority employment in the automotive industry, which GM really, really did not like. GM was a white company. The board of directors was purely white. But the early part of part 1 talks about all of his things that happened to his personality when he was young that impacted his concern about minority employment, including riots and kidnappings and killings. It was not a fun youth for him.
And this aired at Virtual DeLorean Weekend.
Yes, that part 1 was aired on there. So part 2, which we're in rough cut right now, deals with DeLorean making the decision to go work for Pontiac. And it deals, in part 2, his Pontiac days are actually split into 2 halves because it's just so much information. And he went to work for Pontiac, and when he, here's the crash test video. Someone's going to bring it up. Let's see if we can see the dummies without the seat belts.
Because they're dual stage airbags.
Yes, let's see.
I don't know.
Can't
Oh.
see these.
The camera is zooming in. I can't tell if there are belts on there or
So
not.
the shoulder belt you can't see.
If I remember correctly, I've seen this video a lot, and if I remember correctly, right here, if you look at there's a major structural flaw right there at the top of the windshield that buckles. You can see it right then. That
Yes.
which caused it to fail, if I remember correctly, because the opening of the window allowed for an egress opportunity, and it was kind of sequestered from view, if you will, because there was a major. This is only a 35-mile-an-hour crash. At a 50-mile-an-hour crash, the car would essentially buckle, and because of that weak point right at the top of the windshield. And video, of course, 30 years later, 40 years later, sorry, 40 years later, shows that the engineering wasn't where it needed to be for a safety vehicle, which is what, of course, they were going for. Now, granted, give them 5 or 10 more years, and they probably would have been able to fix that design flaw. But the doors themselves caused a major structural weakness because there was no rigidity along the top of the window.
So those crash tests were run by Fitzgerald Engineering out of Indiana. And if you read their report, which is like a 60-page report, you will find in there that the reason that particular crash test showed a lot of damage was that the car was defective and one of the door latches did not engage. So it lost its structural integrity, resulting in damage to the upper structure. But that's in the Fitzgerald report. You're not going to see it on the videos. You have to actually review the report. And they conclude in that report, had that not happened, based upon the second test, everything would have been fine.
There's only one other video I ever saw, which was the upside down test, which I think was supposed to check for fuel leakage from the fuel tank. Those are the only 2 videos I've ever seen from a safety standpoint, whether it's the crash test we just saw or the upside down test for the fuel tank leakage, which I believe was successful.
Yes.
I don't know if there is a second. I haven't seen the second crash test video.
There's some really interesting pictures in the Fitzgerald report, which will be in the video. I digress. So anyways, going back to part 2 of the Pontiac days, and it deals with the early part. This is when some of the frustration of General Motors began to evolve, which was really critical of the whole story. Late 1957, 58, 59, General Motors was putting fuel injection on Pontiacs and Chevys. And one of the reasons they hired Delorean was because he had fuel injection experience from Packard. And he also owned the 300 SL. So here it is, 5, 7, and 8, and 5, 9. The 59 Pontiac, whatever top of the line, Bonneville, had fuel injection with a 347 cubic inch engine, and it was raced against the Chevy Impala with the 327, and it blew away the Chevy. And the next day, John DeLorean gets an order from GM saying, "You guys ain't getting fuel injection anymore." And there's just a lot of stories of General Motors corporate sticking it to Pontiac and hurting Pontiac sales. And those are setting up the disagreements with DeLorean and GM. And part 2 of Pontiac is the later part of the airbag story and the sports car he wanted to build that they wouldn't let him do, and a lot of disappointment and frustration by DeLorean. And there was no question he was being sabotaged by the Chevy people because Pontiac sales kept going up and up and up, and Chevy sales were flat or decreasing, and the Chevy people did not like that. So if we move on to part 3, that's when, or actually part 4, is when John DeLorean. Yeah, see how the door came open there? And if, I don't know, we can't get in here, but in the pictures of Fitzgerald Engineering, through that door you can see that the dummies are not buckled up, because that was part of the requirement of the test. So, in part 4, it's John DeLorean in the Chevy days, and there was, again, a lot more disagreement between DeLorean and GM corporate in regards to what he could do and the junk that he got stuck with and the Vega. And there's an interesting story, a couple of them, dealing with John DeLorean, Martin Luther King, and Senator Ted Kennedy regarding civil rights. And John DeLorean's boss at GM sabotaged him from meeting with Ted Kennedy on civil rights. And then within the near future, John DeLorean quit General Motors and went to work for a company known, an organization in Washington, D.C., known as the National Business Alliance, whose main goal was to help minorities get employment within various industries. And he's stayed there for a year. So John DeLorean's leaving of General Motors had to do with, of course, car issues, but it also had to do with civil rights and race issues. And that's all well documented, but you've got to really dig to find it. So after that, that's parts 2, 3, and 4. Now we're into parts 5. That's the part I'm working on right now. And that deals with the early part of John DeLorean setting up a consulting company in Detroit where his main clients were Piper Aircraft, Airstream Trailer, Ryder Truck, where he made a shitload of money, and Allstate and a few other people. So his consulting company made, in a few years, $5 million. And at that point, he felt he was ready to start his own car company. And he did. He incorporated DeLorean Consulting, and he hired Colleen Booth as his secretary. He hired Bill Collins as his engineer, and a few other people. And started working on, Bill started working on the prototype. They flew to Italy to meet with Rosario to design a car. And there's a lot of other things that were going on and impacting. Most of you, or some of you, may remember that Bill Collins' first DeLorean test vehicle was a Fiat X19. Anybody know that? Corey does.
I do. I've seen a photo of a Fiat in the stainless steel illusion box.
Right.
Say that again. What was it? I love the Fiat X19. What was its relation to DeLorean?
That was the first test vehicle that Bill Collins used.
To test what?
They put the engine in one.
Was that the four-cylinder engine?
They took out the four-cylinder and put in a Ford V6. Made it into a screaming hot rod and then blew up the transmission. Literally, the drivetrain fell out of it. But that's not the reason why he chose a Fiat X19. And I can guarantee that none of you know why. Because I didn't know why until a couple of weeks ago.
Well, don't leave us suspense.
So the reason they chose the Fiat X19 is because DeLorean was working with mini cars on the research safety vehicles for the $30 million contract under DOT. And the chassis and brakes and radiator and steering and blah, blah, were all Fiat X19 components. So if you want to be able to duplicate and rely on the research by the research safety vehicle by mini cars, oh, you choose another X19. How convenient! And I have all the specs, and we'll put that in the video. And because of that early conversation with mini cars, that's how the X19 became the first test bed, because of all the safety features and rear engine design of the X19. And the research safety vehicle was also rear engine. And the X19 was, oh, let's see, fiberglass composite over foam. I think that sounds really familiar, like a DeLorean, fiberglass over a foam interior. Wow, I wonder how that happened.
It's like Doc Brown had an X19 prototype as well.
Yes, that's very, very cool. So, so that's part 5. Goes in. Okay, so part 5, talks about building all the cars and prototypes, and it talks about the early negotiations with Puerto Rico and what they were offering, and then it lists the offer by Northern Ireland based upon the draft agreement from May, and then it ends. So we leave you hanging on the decision which one to accept. And well, of course, we know he chose the Northern Ireland agreement, which I hate to say was probably a fatal mistake, but the terms that they promised him and what they delivered were very, very different. I did a 18-page forensic analysis of the actual final contract and sent it to a few accounting friends, and scared the shit out of one of them. he don't want to get involved because I guess he needs some of this stuff. But I mean, some examples where guess what? DeLorean didn't own the plant. It was owned by the British government. So the supposedly $50 million they gave DeLorean to build a plant was the plant that DeLorean was building for the British government that he had to rent from them at $1 million a year, and then spend another $1 million to put in a substation, and then buy the insurance for another $1 million, and then maintain the factory. Oh, at the same time, you get to pay half the mortgage, John DeLorean. Such a great deal. Wait a minute, I thought you were helping me. You didn't help me. You basically put me into $8 million worth of debt. Yeah, and I'm renting a plant that I could have rented from anybody. That was only one problem with the agreement. And then, of course, you heard, oh, we're going to give you employment grants. Well, not exactly. You see, we're going to loan you $8 million so you'll have some initial working capital. And then when you finally spend the $8 million hiring all these workers, then we're going to give you an employment grant, but that employment grant pays off the loans, so you get nothing. So you spend the $8 million we gave you, and then you get nothing. That's not such a good deal.
Brandon, can you hear us okay?
So
no.
They were complaining that DeLorean believed in OPM, other people's money. There's bullshit about that. So let's see. DeLorean left GM, worked for a bunch of companies, made $5 million, started his own company, hired a bunch of people, built a couple prototype cars, one of which cost $750,000, and that money came from John DeLorean. But he didn't put any money in the car. He did OPM, other people's money. No, he didn't. He initially dropped $5 million in the car, and then he got another $600,000 from Allstate, because Allstate wanted him to come up with a concept for a safety vehicle, which he did, and you've probably seen pictures of it. So initially, DeLorean is into the car for over $5.5 million. And then part of the Northern Ireland agreement, John DeLorean had to invest another $500,000 in stock in the Northern Ireland Company. So now here we go. before anything happened, before a plant or anything like that, John DeLorean is $6 million into the Delorean project. But of course, John DeLorean didn't believe in OPM, other people's money. Wait a minute, he just spent $6 million. Where's this OPM crap? So yes, we did start a dealer network that financed the U.S. operations. There was another $3.5 million stock deal with Johnny Carson involved, which all financed the U.S. operations. And when the U.S. operations went bankrupt, and the bankruptcy court settled the case, they paid 91 cents on the dollar, which means DeLorean U.S. was not bankrupt. It was fiscally in the good. Why did they go bankrupt? I don't know. Well, shit. Because he got sued by a bunch of people. Because if you tie him up legally, he can't sue the British government for breach of contract. And I can tell you from my experience in being an expert witness in the legal system, standard business practice in this country is to sue your competition, tie them up in court, and basically relegate them to bankruptcy on legal fees. Standard practice in the country. What they did to DeLorean is not surprising, not unusual. It is a common practice, and I've been a witness in a number of those cases. But that's a whole different argument. So that takes us into...
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me? Sorry to interrupt.
Yes, Brandon, there you are.
All right. I had to use my phone for audio because for some reason my video won't work. So,
okay. Hey, Brandon.
How's it going?
Hey,
Sorry.
we have a birthday guy in the house.
Okay.
Ashley, welcome in and happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
25?
Birthday.
What are we this year? 25?
Yeah.
26?
58.
Oh! There you go. Happy birthday.
Thank you so much.
Happy birthday, Ashley.
Thank you. Happy birthday.
Hey, you get all those senior discounts now.
That's right. Only if you go out and use them.
Yes, well, that's,
Um,
we used to take advantage of those, but we don't anymore. Not go anywhere for at least another almost year.
you guys want to see something pretty cool?
Sure.
If Brandon makes it, it's cool.
Hey, hold on. I'm waiting for my camera to turn off. This is all 3D printed. Where is it? Oh, damn it. I'm having nothing with computer problems, but here, let me put it in front of
Your
taillight.
Oh, there it is. Oh,
There we go.
Nice, 3D printed. That's 3D
This is entirely 3D printed, including the lenses. So I'm waiting on the
That's
PCB from
amazing.
Dennis. So Dennis and I are working on the PCB, but once I get the PCB, I'll have electronics, and it's user replaceable. So here's the right one. They
Nice.
basically snap in like
Wow.
this. They pressure snap, and the pressure fit actually holds two things. So the tabs actually create the connection that goes through it. There's a lip in the inside
Yeah.
for the actual rubber grommets for water sealing.
Yeah.
The screws actually create additional pressure on the frame, and it's only about 2 inches thick, so people want to use them as wall art can. And then the lenses are all fully replaceable in 5 pieces, so if you ever crack a lens or anything happens, you can just print another one. So this is what an unpainted lens.
What material are you
This is clear resin. It's UV resin. So this is a lens. I haven't taken the standoffs off the back yet, but so they're all modular. So like for example, this lens would just go in this piece, and I'm going to give these files away to everybody.
But
And
this
also
is
we're trying to,
you're printing with a UV resin.
yeah, so that's how it goes in, just like that.
Yeah. Nice.
And then the frame is actually held on with pressure, so you need 3 different ways to break it on a freeway for it to go. This is a plastic nylon composite,
Okay.
and the lenses are resin. So this is stronger than ABS plastic. It's got the same strength as ABS plastic with the flexibility of like a nylon bike seat.
Yeah.
So it won't crack over time.
Yep.
And because it's only 2 inches thick,
Yep.
it goes to the same thickness as the original bezel. But once you paint it with, I'm just using SEM trim black right now.
Yeah.
Which is I guess what everybody uses, but that's what you get.
That's friggin' amazing.
So, and then the lenses I'm looking to get cast out of ABS plastic instead of resin, but the resin works too. And then I just use Delorean Go sells that Tamiya model paint. So this is the same stuff people are using for faded taillights, and this is actually replacement. But I'm ready to go. And once I get Dennis's circuit board and I put it on my car and test it for a little bit, then I'm going to make them available for the community. And we're going to try. And I've actually recreated the actual pattern too, the kind of pebbling on the black. You can barely see if there's like that black texture.
Yes.
So that's also been recreated in the 3D print. So, and it's identical to the original taillight. You can't actually tell the difference when you put it on the car next to a real one. So I think the white whale's been solved, and I might have gotten rid of our no more left taillight problems.
So what?
But I call it my white whale.
Brandon, school me on how. I mean, you can't buy those original anymore, or what's the deal? How's that all work?
They're out of the lefts, so
completely out. Like you can't find them.
You can't find them
so
unless someone has them or someone's hoarding them. Also, just to throw you guys a new one, this is fresh off the 3D printer. Chris Miles reached out to me. He was talking with David McKean, and I guess the people can't get that plug that goes into the door lock module. So I just created one in a 3D printer, and I just did it today. So I was basically trying to find a way so we can keep making door lock module parts. So here's my original door lock module, and here's the plug on the end. And then this is, I haven't taken it off the platform yet, but I think it's going to work. I just didn't do the clips yet because I'm testing the fitment of the actual part, so I can probably take it off in 2 seconds. But anyway, I'm going to give this file away to everybody as soon as I confirm it, so we no longer have to look.
The other plug that's unobtainium is the 9-pin that attaches your switch.
If someone sends me a plug, I can recreate it. But here, I'll just clean my print bed off. So let's see if the fitment's the same. So here we go. Oh yeah, 1-to-1. There you go. Look at that. Right. I'll have to put it in my car. You can kind of see how they line up pretty much perfectly. So I've even got the little recess in the center, the little kind of like divot, so the pins will hold. Yep. So I don't have the clips yet, but I figure the clips will come later. But this is this should work.
It's better than nothing.
Well, it's definitely better than nothing. So I'll probably give one to Chris and then send the file to David so he can make whatever he needs to make with it. But I think I've solved that problem. So if you guys have anything else that's missing that we need to make like that, if someone can send me that unobtainium, that other plug, I'll recreate it and then put the files back.
Where's that at, Brandon? Where's the what we're talking about? The one that you said to
switch.
Yes.
I guess I don't have. I worry about taking my mirror switch out and risking breaking it. But now that I've got this one, at least we can make new door lock module plugs as a community, and I give all my files away. So
yeah, if you buy a replacement mirror switch, it doesn't come with the plug, so you gotta disassemble the old one, bend all the pins out, stick it back in, and
you know what? I think this is Doug. I think I have a replacement mirror switch I bought from Cliff many years ago, and I think it has the plug on it.
If you mail me the plug, I just need to get the
hold on. I just moved, and I'm not sure if you can tell or not, but I'm kind of putting my together. But if I can find that, I can find it. I bought it because he had one, and we're talking the plug that comes off the mirror control, correct?
Right.
All right. If I can find it.
Doug, where'd you move to? Are you still in Ohio?
I am. We just bought a new house. That's all. And it's oops, I'm sorry. We're literally Cincinnati, Ohio, 10 miles from where we were. But it's an empty nester house. It's instead of a 2-story with a 3-car garage, it's a 1-story with a 6-car garage. Thank you very much.
Oh, yes.
My wife had a house, dog.
My wife told me the smaller the house, the bigger the garage. Thank you very much.
That sounds familiar.
Oh yeah, so I'm currently converting. Let me unplug and walk around if you don't mind.
Are you you're in your garage right now?
I am.
Is it heated?
It is.
Oh.
As of 2 weeks ago. In fact, let me see
There it
that.
is. So I assume
When
it's
we first moved in,
it's not 18 degrees there now, is there?
it's about 18 degrees. I don't want to hijack Bob's event today, but let me walk into being a dark here until I turn the lights on.
Yeah, I want to see the garage. Yeah.
This is a two-part garage. The original garage was just your standard two-story or two-car garage, stick-built, built in 1968. And then later, the original owners had another garage sistered onto the side of it for an RV. Now, the nice thing about that is it's double deep. So, yes, you can see my DeLorean is sadly sequestered way in the back. But
And they have a tall garage door too.
it is. It's I have no idea how tall it is. 13 feet, something like that.
So you're going to be getting a dock.
There.
You're going to be getting a dock truck. Is that what you're saying? Fitting it inside there.
That would be kind of cool. But as you know, over here, I have a 308 which needs a home also. So so what I'm working on now is converting the old man garage, which is just stick built 2x4, plywood.
Right.
This is unheated. So what I did was for the last couple weeks, and I apologize if I'm boring everybody.
No, this is cool.
This couple weeks is the guy who owned the place did a great job of putting shelving up, and I mean tons of shelving. You can see behind me.
Yeah.
He did all this shelving, but when I bought the place, it was just regular 1x12, non-painted, no nothing. So I decided I really wanted to kind of freshen that up a little bit. In fact, the whole thing was that color, just your basic,
Oh yeah,
a patina. So a couple months ago, I posted on Facebook, what should I do? Should I paint it? Should I just leave it the way it is? I ripped it down. I ripped down the shelves. I put insulation in the walls. We added some, added some wiring, and put it back up and decided to paint it. Now we're getting there. You can't see outside that window, but my view outside my workbench is beautiful. Anyhow, so putting it all together, there's a 308 under there. It's covered up heavily. It's because I'm so mad. I bought it and then I bought a house and I haven't been able to do anything with it. I did. So I've got two more panels you can see in the corner there. I'm taking ideas what to do with a mural. I'm trying to. We're going to print a mural on that, and I'm trying to think of what. Andy,
Back to the Future.
That's about the right aspect ratio for the Star Trek view screen.
Yeah, but you have so many. You're a Back to the Future guy. I mean, get a clock tower in there. Get some fire trails or something. Yeah, I don't know.
I work for a printing company, so we're gonna figure out a way to. So we're gonna do that. Anyhow.
So DCS 2022 at your place? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So I'm 55 in 2022, and when I was 50, my wife allowed me to do a birthday party at my old house. We had a bunch of cars come up, and we had a whole bunch of all my car club buddies bring their cars. And so for not this year because it's not going to work, but next year I'll be 55, and it's going to be the I Can't Be 55 birthday party. Thank you very much. So yes, we will be launching that. But right now, my current project is from this side all the way over to that side. I'm not sure how much you can see this. There's an old apothecary cabinet that I ended up cutting in half.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so this is going to be, we found in the rafters when we were cleaning the place up, we found original bundle of hardwood flooring. Oh, by the way, just a little space heaters down here. We found original flooring up in the rafters from the original house.
The oak or maple?
Oak. So we're going to be doing this entire thing is going to be oak all the way down. It's going to be oak hardwood flooring. I can't.
Right.
So this has been my project for the last 2 months, and I every time I look at something, oh yeah, there's a beer fridge down there. By the way, we gotta have a beer fridge. But every time I look at something, I'm like, oh, wouldn't that look great if I? And last night I painted the rafters. I'm like, oh, that looks so much better than right? So we're gonna paint. Let's see, do it this way. I gotta paint every single one of them.
Oh.
You're painting it DeLorean gray, right?
It is DeLorean gray. It's actually I have the paint right here. It is actually Imperial gray. Sorry, it's
a Star Wars thing.
It's a Star Wars thing. It's Home Depot.
That's great. So
So,
Doug, try this mural.
let me see it. I take
Here,
your suggestions.
Right there.
Nope, not there yet.
hold on. I'll spotlight it once.
Yeah.
Go ahead, David. Go ahead and say something so I could spotlight you again.
Right here, this mural there.
There you go.
Oh, that would be. Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah. That's a great idea.
This is actually at a bar in Fort Worth called McFly's.
That's a great idea. That's
You're gonna crash into those Indians.
I'm gonna put that on the list. That's a great idea. So you can
And
imagine.
they have this mural as well.
Oh, I've seen that on Instagram. Is that you? Is that you in the costume, David?
Yep.
Oh, that's an awesome costume.
That's a good one.
And let's see here. Then I was on the other side.
What? So is that a bar or is it a restaurant or what is?
Bar.
Oh,
It's a small like watering hole place.
wow.
Then they have inside. They have Biff Tannen above the Buford above one of the booths.
And what city is this in?
Fort Worth.
Fort Worth. Okay.
And they have George above another booth.
I'm tilting my camera so I can see your picture here.
How far away do you live from there, David?
It's actually a good 30-minute drive or so.
That's it. I'd probably have dinner, breakfast, and lunch there every day.
This is the men's room. Let me get that done.
Sign.
The greatest men's room.
Ah, that's cool.
The greatest men's room by far is, and I think Andy, you may agree, is the.
Oh, there she is.
Vegas. Oh, hello.
Oh, and Doug? Did you say you cut out? But did you say the Hilton? Yep. I'm curious if those girls are still there. That was always. I remember that. It was very awkward. Well, it's not called the Hilton anymore. It's I don't know what it's called now.
Oh my God! What is that? That's a spider. Wait, is that a Google car?
Nope, that is actually for Halloween. I put a spider on the roof.
Okay.
That is the Kia time machine.
Okay.
Oh, are you the owner of the Kia? That's yours?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Now I'm connecting the dots. Oh, so you're the Kia DeLorean time machine owner.
Yeah, this is a convention that was before Halloween.
That's great.
I'm unpacking my boxes and boxes and boxes of brush. Look what I just found. I just found this.
Oh,
that's the other mural inside the.
That's really
the
good
bar.
painting too.
Yeah, the guy who did this, he is. I was looking right closely at these things, and the detail on it is amazing. I mean, especially like Doc's remote on the back. I don't have one on the back wall. I actually do. They even have Super Mario Nintendo hooked up.
That
It's
is
all
cool.
retro themed, and the detail on Doc's remote there is just amazing. I mean, my camera here can't capture it, but just the detail they did.
Oh wow, look at that. On a brick wall.
It's really good on a brick wall. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you have to see it to believe it, really. I mean, it's just amazing.
Sounds like a
Bob,
road
I'm sorry, I
trip.
didn't mean to hijack your
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, I just
your
wanted to
presentation. I
do that as an idea for a mural.
I moved that over. Sorry. I'm gonna go back on mute.
Hey, welcome in Tom and Chris Miles down there. Well, down. You guys are down to me.
Guys?
Hello.
What's up, Chris? You just had a birthday too, didn't you?
Yeah, the 31st. There he is.
Oh, it's Ashley's birthday today, so there you go.
Your 31st birthday or on the 31st?
No, I'm 36 on the 31st.
Happy birthday, man.
Thank you.
Birthday.
So I'm on the East Coast here, guys, so I'm gonna have to sign off. My daughter's getting married tomorrow, so I should probably get some sleep.
Oh boy.
A good day to get married. Or January.
Good luck with that tomorrow.
Yeah, good luck. Congratulations.
Thanks for coming in, John.
Guys, I'll see you next month.
Yep.
Yeah.
First Saturday, whatever the February.
Hey Andy.
Hey, Matt.
I gotta sign off real quick, but I actually before the video chat, I sent you a video and a picture of my Triumph Spitfire that I just bought, and I was wondering if you could share that with everybody real quick.
Let me find it here.
It's on Messenger.
Oh, there you are. Okay, hold on.
You're a Spitfire.
Let's see here.
It's a 1977 Triumph Spitfire. I just bought it on December 1st. I bought it from the estate of a good friend of mine that passed away in November.
I love Triumphs. It's great to hang on to a buddy's car, you know. Oh, cool.
There it is.
Yeah, that's nice.
I know it's not a great picture, but can you guys see the license plate on the back of it?
NYB865.
You realize that it's the
863.
It's the bicentennial plate that the state of Michigan used back in '76, and they had a sticker for '77 and '78. You guys realize between the plate and the car?
No, I don't think so. Correct?
Go ahead. I'm just.
Go ahead.
I muted Tom.
You guys realize between the plate and the car, commemorating the American Revolution on a British car.
Like drinking Coke out of a Pepsi glass or vice versa.
Is that a Mustang 2 in front of that? That
was.
Yeah, that's a '75 Mustang 2. That's a '75 Mustang 2 Ghia with the silver luxury group package, 1 of 4 built.
Wow, my first car is a '74 Mustang 2 Coupe Ghia. Carmen, not Carmen Ghia, just Ghia.
Yeah, this is also a Ghia. And it has the 302 in it.
Oh, that was a 4-cylinder. It didn't have any horsepower. That's a beautiful car. That's a great find. Great find. Glad that you're able to keep it in check for your buddy.
Yeah. And Andy, are you able to play the video of the Spitfire running?
I didn't get a video from you. I just got a.
Oh, I guess it didn't finish downloading.
Well, no, I didn't get anything, but my laptop, I'm running so many things to get the live streaming going, it's like very, very choppy, so I have a feeling if I would show a video, it probably wouldn't. But nothing came through on my side. Let me check again.
It wasn't finished loading when I was signing into the video chat, so hopefully next month.
I'll get it at 3 o'clock in the morning.
But and not only that, guys, the Spitfire responds real well to some 100 low lead airplane fuel.
I bet it does.
Yeah, because my friend that had owned the car, he used to work at a place called Waco Classic Aircraft in Battle Creek, Michigan, and due to FAA regulation, they would quite frequently have to do fuel test samples, and due to FAA regulations, they're not allowed to put the fuel back into the tanks of the airplanes. So they just had to have it sit in a 55-gallon drum, and so then my friend would just take some airplane fuel and put it in the Spitfire, and it would respond real well to it.
Yep.
Oh, now we got. Is Corey still here? Now we got 2 Canadians and a Mason.
Hey, who did? No one reminded me that we were doing this.
First Saturday of the month, buddy. They're called calendars. Come on, get one.
Mason, I've missed a few of them due to work. Mason, I've missed a few of them due to work, but I'm here tonight. So.
Well, I was working.
Yeah, Brandon's out there. He's out there designing DeLorean parts and spaceships for upcoming shows that we're all waiting for. But He's here.
You know, I'm going into an enclosed space with 240 people with a face shield and a mask, hoping that I don't get anything.
Good luck.
Hooray. I've got to say, it looks like Sean might be on 2 Caribou internet now because he's not all choppy.
His internet's been getting better. We were just on a video call and he was running into Mr. Rabago half the time. So
sweet.
Actually, me and Sean were trying to we were making illegal moves, trying to figure out where some of these DeLorean parts come from. Josh and DeLorean Go. We were breaking. It's heresy. We're breaking the law and trying to find out where some of these parts come from.
I'm breaking the law. It's cracking the code.
Cracking the code.
All right, guys. I got to sign out now. So you guys take care.
Have a good one, Matt. Thanks for coming in.
Take care.
See you, man.
So how's that?
Oh, it says Canada beside me.
I'm trying to put on where people are
Sean
from.
Star Canada makes it sound like the Canadian subsidiary of Sean Star International.
I sent a link to Sean on DMC Talk. Someone like a couple months ago posted a picture of a DeLorean Go radiator and Josh's radiator, and they are like identical. So now he's looking up websites and he's trying to find what the exact part is, because apparently if you go to DeLorean Go and look it up, from what I am told, anything on DeLorean Go that says DeLorean Europe and not DeLorean Go when it says the source of it, it's actually Ed Bernstein stuff.
No.
Bernstein or Ed Alding? Yeah, I could see.
Well, I looked at the picture of the radiator.
That's not from me. That's not my knowledge. I never said that. I'm just looking in to see if this is true.
No, it's true. Ed Uding provides most of the parts to DeLorean Go, and Josh and everybody else. They're all using the same stuff.
Oh, it's not Ed Bernstein? It's a different
Ed Bernstein's almost dead. He's not doing anything.
He's doing something. I don't know.
Ed Uding is in the Netherlands. He's been in the business for a decade at least.
They just built a nice brand new facility, or they're in the process of it.
He was an affiliated DMC dealer until he said, "Screw you guys are a joke, I'm going on my own," and so he did that.
We do believe the actual quote was, "I'm going to start my own DeLorean facility with blackjack and hookers." Yes.
Mentioning that thread, Ed actually logged in like today or yesterday and said that Josh is no longer able to buy parts from him anymore. So there's another monkey wrench in the
Oh. Josh sent me something that's 6 days late that I'm curious to see if I'll get it. So we'll see how that goes.
I've got a story with Josh. I haven't even told you this, Chris, yet. So apparently, I was going to buy Josh's lower control arms just because they were slightly cheaper, and he had polyurethane bushings in them, from what I was told. I'm like, okay, I might as well look at Josh's, they're a bit cheaper. Last Tuesday, out of nowhere, I hadn't mentioned anything on Facebook or whatnot, Josh just sends me a message and completely out of nowhere says, "Hey Mason, just wanted to give you a heads up that our stainless steel control arms," which I didn't think he sold those anymore, "only work with our lower supports." When in reality, the video that Chris did for DeLorean Tech, he put those on a stock control arm, so that's false off the bat. They will not work with the UK ones. I saw your post discussion a while back, and I wasn't sure if you knew this or not. And I said, "No, Josh, I was not aware of this. I also thought you were selling the aluminum control arms as well. I didn't realize that you had stainless ones." And after trying to talk to him about that, I replied back with, "What about the supports from DeLorean Go? Would those work on your lower control arms?" His response, "The only way it would loosen is ... in all caps. That's not possible! ! Without the adjustments put in, that would put stress on the arms. DeLorean frames are not perfect and have very sloppy tolerances. The fixed brackets from DeLorean Go will put a lot of high stress and cause cracking." That was his response. So yeah, that just kind of spurred off, and ever since then, apparently he's having a baby. So I have not been able to talk with him for a while, and I've sent him a couple messages. And he also had recently told me that because of the fallout with Ed, use our own version of lowered ball joints to our specifications. The other ones on the market will not fit our arms.
Weird.
So basically, he's becoming Apple.
Yeah.
Oh, Tom has an Apple story. I don't know if you want to share it, Tom.
But isn't he not he's not selling anymore online, right? Isn't he like phasing out all that online?
Well, no, I talked to him. I talked to him on the phone because I asked him about this while I was talking about the control arms. His words: "I'm not phasing out parts. Radiators, control arms, and things like that will still be available in manufacture. Larger ticket items, such as crate items like a stainless steel chassis was the example he used. He's not going to crate a stainless steel chassis to people. If you want that option, you have to send your car to him and have him install it. But if you want radiators and control arms and bushings and stainless steel stuff, he'll still sell you that. But if you want big stuff, you have to send it to Josh."
Speaking of weird stuff, would you guys be interested in the idea of a pop-in air filter or HEPA system for the car that doesn't require any modification for the cabin?
Yes.
That would be very intriguing.
That would be.
It would require you to take the wiper blades off and pull the vent out, because I would basically make it drop into that opening with a screen and a filter.
I do believe you had just said, without it being intrusive, you lied to us.
Well, it's not intrusive. All you have to do is unscrew pull the finisher off and change it out every 4 months or so. It's not like actually modifying the car.
You take off the entire cowling and you're talking about that little hole that's right there on the...
Yeah. So I would build essentially a grill, like a mesh like most people do, and then I would actually have an inset kind of cut to size HEPA filter that you can cut any one you want into, and then build water channels so that it doesn't get completely waterlogged in the rain, and make it something so we wouldn't have to smell fumes from the road going into our car. It's something I've been thinking about.
Oh, Brandon, you know what happens when you start thinking. You start printing.
Yeah.
Thinking means printing.
I wonder if that would eliminate the gas smell we get from our tanks. Like after you get a fresh tank of gas and you spill just the tiniest bit, you just smell it everywhere. I wonder if that would eliminate it from cabin.
It would eliminate whatever the HEPA filter is capable of pulling out, right? So it's just
the other catch on that is that's over on the passenger side, and that's leading into the airbox. Whereas if you spill by your fuel filler, if it goes into that little vent cap, it winds up down kind of into your front, in where the master cylinder is, the clutch master cylinder, and the grommet, which may or may not be there for your speedo cable or the bushing for the steering column. So it might still be just open air. There's nothing you can do about that besides seal it up.
I thought that little vent had a tube coming that drop it down onto the road. It bypassed all that.
I haven't been in a while. Ask me in the spring. My car's hibernating.
Oh, me and Sean apparently have this mystery tube that is sitting on the side of our tanks on the passenger side. It looks like it's cut. He thinks it's probably just from the draining from the cowling from the front windshield. I thought that just dropped right down on top of the fuel pump. So I was like, I wasn't sure if that was the case or not. But
it would be nice to think that they would channel water away.
I mean, I think I saw a video on YouTube a while ago, but it's essentially, pause it, that tube.
Yeah.
Some tube just sitting on the side of my tank, cut and dry, and I have no idea what it is.
How far up were you able to follow it?
It doesn't go up towards the windshield. It almost goes down the center console. It almost heads in that direction. I thought maybe it could be.
That wouldn't be the not evaporator, but condenser drainage, would it? That just sounds like a really convoluted way.
Well, doesn't the condenser drain come out from the passenger side wheel well? It drops off into there?
I'd like to think so.
I didn't think it. I thought it just came through the firewall on the passenger side and it just dropped right down. That looks like it goes through the center and goes back. So.
Hey, David, I have a request. Do you have your brain analyzer handy?
Yes, I can get to it.
Oh, I want to see it. Sorry, not to change the subject, but I want to see
I
it.
was going to say you're looking for a brain analyzer, and I'm feeling personally attacked.
David has one. He made one.
Robert, do you have that mirror switch plug that you're talking about? Or Chris, do you have that other plug that's not available? The one that's for the mirror switch? Do you have one of those, Chris?
I think it's the same plug that. No, it's not the same one as the door lock. I don't have one.
You don't? Okay.
Ooh, shiny.
Yep.
Oh, I see a puzzle.
Yep.
I just picked up 4 of those babies.
And Tom, if you're talking, I think you're muted.
Oh, that is so cool.
And then.
Oh, fuck! I've been muted this whole time.
Oh, yeah. You even got it signed? Wow.
Yep. As in Dallas Comic Con last May.
Nice.
Oh, that is.
Hey, Andy.
Yo.
The real brainwave analyzer sold a few years ago.
Let me guess. You have it.
No, I didn't buy it. Oh. But if I remember correctly,
how much did it go for? Wait, the Shays have it.
40 G's.
I think the Shays have it. Patrick and Bill Shay, I think.
Are those the Time Machine guys?
Those are the guys up in Massachusetts, Boston. Is that the same?
Yeah, I think it's Minnesota.
They've got. It's funny. I just watched a video of them today. Somebody did a documentary on them, and I just happened to find it on YouTube. Holy crap! They have a lot of stuff, like screen use stuff.
Did you see the documentary? Is it the documentary about the Back to the Future 3 car?
Well, they have. Yeah, they own that.
They bought the desert car, right?
The desert car, yes.
They've got the desert car. I think this year he got Lorraine's car from when Marty and her made out in that car. He's got that. He's got Marty's truck. Got the Libyan van.
Oh, these guys have everything.
He's got
it's
a couple
crazy.
Of Steve McQueen bikes.
Yep.
He's got,
two Jurassic Park Jeeps. He has an Ecto one.
More money than I have is what he has.
He's about to sell.
Is he independently wealthy, or what's his deal?
Yes.
He gotta be.
I just saw he has the original Johnny Carson DeLorean that he's selling actually. Just went up.
Is that who's selling it?
It didn't say why he's selling it. He just is. Maybe just because of the space. Like.
Yeah, that's the one Cliff Clavin has, right? Or Cliff Clavin.
John Ratzenberger.
Hey, Norm. Norm. That's the one that Cliff had that car. I've got photos of that thing.
Cliff Schmucker?
Yeah.
But I think you're right that Patrick has it, because I believe he actually sent me pictures, high quality pictures of that when I was building mine.
Oh, really? Okay.
Like base mine off of the one that exists now, which is actually falling apart, which is interesting, because you actually get to see how it's built more now that it's falling apart than when it was first made.
What's yours primarily made out of? Because I would imagine if it's made of metal, it's probably pretty heavy on your head.
Well, it's actually aluminum flashing.
Oh.
Really?
That's not bad.
And it's all screwed in, no rivets, just screwed in.
Nice.
So it's I can take it apart if I need to, rewire it if I want to.
Wow.
But it's really light compared to using actual angle or iron steel or whatever slats.
You're telling me.
So I can cut this with scissors.
What, David? Just do a shout out of your Instagram. Like I've been following your Instagram for a while. Like just all the stuff you make. I love prop people. People that make prop stuff, and I don't know.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's actually McFly Dallas.
Oh, that's your okay. Cool. Very cool stuff that you make.
Go by on all social media that I can.
I love it.
I'm in the process right now actually making. I do costuming as well, and this is a serape that I'm working on.
A what?
Marty's 1885 Clint Eastwood serape.
The poncho. Okay, I never heard that word before. Serape. Is that really a word?
It's Spanish.
Oh, that's why I don't know it. C.
The center design for it. Get that.
That's so cool. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Mason and stuff. I know.
Oh, you're fine.
David is talent. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's great. This is the kind of stuff I eat up.
Actually, if David would want to, I asked Aaron over at Delorean Go about this. Apparently, they used to have like DMC like boiler suits that they were selling for a little while. These were fabricated ones, but I mean, if they would want to
the green ones,
like that,
or are you talking about the factory workers?
The factory workers, the one that they would wear. They would actually have like the DMC emblem up in the corner. But if they would want to custom make some and then put like our VIN numbers below them and then like our names, that would be a cool thing. I'd pay for that.
Were they jumpsuits? Is that what they were? Like not jumpsuits, like flight suits. Is that what the word is? Flight suit.
Well, I think the
word
probably
more like mechanics.
A boil
overalls. I think.
Oh, look at that. Is that a? Did you make that yourself, David?
Yep.
Is that how big is that? I can't tell.
That is it's about 14 or 16 inches high. So it's about like 1/8 scale, maybe.
Okay.
This is the Sunstar. Is this the Sunstar? Yeah, I think that. Yeah, this is the Sunstar Delorean below it.
Hey Andy, before I forget, I want to tell you something. Marty's truck is coming out May 2021 for Playmobil.
Is it? That's a real thing?
So I've heard.
Oh. Did you?
I mean, as far as I know, it's real. But I mean, I don't work for Playmobil.
So
did I just see the man with the yellow hat? I think I just saw the man with the yellow hat. Curious George.
Yep.
I love it. That's great.
So Andy, question about your car. Does your car have
lots of tarps all over it right now?
Yeah.
Because it's 12 degrees in my garage right now.
Does it actually have the door opening sound effect? Did you install that?
I installed that a while ago. I tried to. It took over the internet for a while. Somebody bought the little sound effect thing, and you plug it into your light marker, whatever those are called. And it's so finicky that one time I was literally driving to a gig or something, and it kept going off to where I wanted to kill someone. Like it was, I don't know if it was just because my little light markers are loose or what. So I finally just ripped it out and said, screw this, I'm not going to do that.
Hey, Mason, if you want one, I 3D printed one with a custom switch that has an Arduino that runs with its own speaker. And you can I'll just mail it to you. It runs off a 9-volt.
This was it's a recording box, and you plug it into the light markers.
Yeah, it's the same idea.
Okay.
I'm just doing it. I'm doing it with a 3D printed chassis with a larger speaker that I made just on a lark that I used twice, and I was like, yeah, I'm done. But it'll take up to 76 different sound files. So you can trigger as many things as you want.
I've seen some people do that, and then I've seen some people wire up like these little tiny speakers in like the back engine bay, and they'll run the wires to the front that way, so you don't have any exposed wires like going into the vent hole or anything like that. But you might like this idea too, Brandon. I wanted to ask Andy this because I think I might have concocted a way to get the DeLorean to rev and sound like the revving from the one from the movie. Or it's got like the little digital rev noise when you hear the car rev in the movie. Imagine having that on your car when you're driving around revving.
How do you do that?
Do you know some of the more modern cars, and the BMWs in particular, they have the fake exhaust? They have a speaker installed in the car that is emulating a louder engine.
Seriously?
Yeah, my car is that.
Mustangs do it too.
Yeah.
So you're faking the noise. That's funny.
I've looked online. There's aftermarket stuff like that for Teslas that make Teslas sound like they have a V8.
Oh, that's a cool idea. Okay.
Well, the reason why they have it is because the sound glass is so insulated, you don't really hear the engine outside or inside your cabin in new cars.
Well, no, they have different sizes. So one of them's got like a mini speaker that you can put right underneath your hood on a normal car, and that emulates a louder engine noise. They go all the way up to like larger speakers, about anywhere from 10, 12, 14 inches in diameter, and they actually fit into your exhaust. Like you cut out a section of pipe and you can fit them into your exhaust and wire up the wires wherever you want. And these aftermarket ones that go for Teslas, you can load your own sound files into them. So why not get the DeLorean rev noise, put it on one of those, wire it into the ECU in some way to make it to where you rev,
That's
and
cool.
get that sound effect.
That's a pretty cool
It could
idea.
work.
Well, you could do it with Dave's ECU, because Dave's ECU is electronic, so you could intercept whatever the pulse is coming from it.
There you
I'm
go.
still just a little bit hung up on the fact that vehicles are faking their engine noises, and we often name them after women.
Well, you know, on the BMW i8, that's standard. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, they pipe in fake engine noise. Just, you know.
I had that revelation seeing a YouTube video of someone do that to a Tesla to get like a V8 noise, and they mentioned like, oh, we could put like the Star Trek, travel noise on it, and we can do all sorts of like goofy fictional things. And I'm like, why not put the DeLorean sound files on that?
The Jetsons noise.
The Jetsons. Yeah, the Jetson noise. Like, we could make that happen. Andy, if you put that on your car, you'll have the full. We could just rev it, and you get that same like rev from the movie.
I'm just happy when my car starts. That's what I like to hear. It just the starting sound.
Yeah.
That's when I know I'm gonna have a good day.
I had my
I don't care what it
my thermal
sounds.
time switch started dying, so I feel you, Andy.
Well,
I ended up using the hot start relay to get around it, as Chris has suggested, which works great.
Why don't you like the DeLorean Go ones, Brandon? Do you just not want do you not want the aftermarket thing?
Well,
or
I just like I don't. I've aftermarket parts for this car. I've seemed to notice have a extremely large failure rate. So I'd rather find something that's not that. The thing is, right now, just based on what's happening, I don't really even need a thermotime switch for my car ever again. I could plug the hole if I wanted to.
Yeah.
Because David's hot start relay is doing that job electronically. But I just worry that it might cover up like injector issues, Chris. That's why I'm worried about the hot start relay over time. Because it just.
Why is it don't worry.
If you ever go to try to test it again, never have your thermal time switch plugged in with the relay, because Chris can attest to this. I've called him twice now of my car just not starting after like starting for like.
Well, that's not true, Mason, because I've been running the hot start relay with an original thermotime switch for 2 years.
No. I'm saying like if you start the car, you turn it off, you start it, you turn it on, you do that like 2 or 3 times over, needing to move it for whatever reason. I've had cases where I've had to do that. I flooded my engine with it because the hot start relay would shoot extra gas in on top of the thermal time switch. I've run up the engine. So if you do it like 4 or 5 times over and your engine starts choking, you're flooding it. Then you just gotta take the hot start relay out.
Got it. Well, at this point, I don't even have the thermotime's unplugged, so I think I'll be alright for a little bit.
You're totally fine. I'm getting Dave's ECU, fan fail relay, fan relay, fan fail relay, ECU, and what was the other one? Lambda. I'm getting his Lambda stuff. All that's coming tomorrow, hopefully. So
his idle ECU is great. I've been running at 900 RPMs since I've had it, and it's been pretty nice. So
yeah, that's something.
I don't. But I've put, what is it? I put about, even in 2020, I put about 5,000 miles on the car. So it's just been, a lot.
That's
pretty good. That's a lot. 5,000 a year. That's good.
I've had the car for a little bit over 2 years, and I've put about 10,000 miles on it.
Okay.
I'll have mine in February. Will be 2 years for me. And I am less than 100 miles away from hitting my 10,000 mile mark. So I'm 100 miles away from doing that.
Gentlemen, it's been fun. I've been listening in on everything. Bob, I really appreciate the information regarding some early stuff that you're working on. Can't wait to see the final product.
Yeah,
That's 47.
Somewhere between 7 and 10 episodes.
So I need to do some serious catch up. But like I said, I just relocated and working on my man cave. We started off with a little paint, a little spackle, a couple throw pillows, and then we got a little carried away. So I've pushed it. I haven't seen you guys since before Christmas. I remember that.
Hey, Doug.
Yeah.
Stay safe. This is what I've been working on. It's an actual safe.
Oh, look at you, buddy. Look at you.
So I'm staying safe.
You are staying safe.
I've been waiting for 2 hours to use that joke.
Well,
no, it's really.
You go. I will be here. Are we doing this every Saturday or
first Saturday of the month? Because here's what happens: if we do it every Saturday, we get sick of each other and we literally stare at each other. That's what happened for a few times. So now at least we kind of miss each other after a month. So it's like, oh, you okay? What's your deal? Plus, I can't do it every Saturday. I just
Mason, but then after a while, I'm like, oh.
I'm back to work, so I can't do it every Saturday. It's a lot to host.
Have a great time. I will see you next first Saturday of the month. Mason, say hi, and talk to you then.
Have a good night.
Hey, Doug. Hi. I forgot to tell Doug, I do FedEx deliveries now. That's why I don't get on here as much. I work 6 days a week.
Hey, you making a lot more money?
Yeah, actually.
So, speaking of which, have you been able to relax at all the last week or so?
Well,
Worst of it over?
I've actually, right now, they're looking at people to, hey, we want some people to just work 3 to 4 days a week because come late January, everybody's going to sober up from New Year's. And once they sober up and look at their Christmas presents, they're going to be like, I don't want this. And they're going to return them. Then we're going to get busy again. So I'm anticipating that.
Have you learned how to obey the law when you're driving, Mason?
Yes, I have. It's called.
Are you getting tickets still?
Regulator. It's called a speed regulator.
Well, what happened with? Okay, so tell us your ticket. Was that a speeding ticket or what was that?
I could show you my.
Don't show. No, you're on live right now. We don't want to see any.
Oh, we're on live.
Yeah, it's the world. The world just saw. In fact,
thanks for reminding me. By the way,
Tom, if you want to go into some stories, I can end the live, Tom stories. But so far we have 2 people watching on YouTube, so I'd kind of like to see if we hit 3, then I'll be happy.
Well, just to clarify,
as long as they're not the feds.
This was not in the Delorean. This was not in any car. This was in the FedEx van that I was still learning how to drive 2 weeks in onto the job.
And you have to pay the ticket?
I have to pay a ticket.
How much is it?
Without the court fees, $508.
Aren't you pissed?
I was pissed, yeah. I was pissed it happened, but I also got pulled over by a state trooper, and if you get pulled over by a state trooper, you're fucked.
You're done.
How fast were you going?
Well, that was the thing. I've never driven in a van before, so still getting used to the job, sitting so much higher off the axle. I thought I was going slower. Speed limit dropped from 70 to 65, so I was doing a 94 and a 65.
What the heck? 94 in a van?
In a van.
He's used to driving a DeLorean.
I don't feel bad for you.
Go those speeds.
Yeah. But you usually just put your foot down and you eventually get up to some speed. But
you really wanted to develop.
I was not anticipating it.
You really wanted to deliver people's It's Christmas. Their packages are supposed to be late, not on time. Why are you driving so fast?
I'm a FedEx driver that actually cares and tries to put your package.
There was a Seinfeld episode like that. Jerry picked up. He became a United States Postal Service. He was delivering things on Sunday, and it was a good episode.
When was this ticket, by the way?
This was back in October.
So you're over it.
Oh.
No, I mean, here's the whole story.
Bill came.
It's not just the $508. Because when it happened, I had to show up in court on the ticket. There was no way out of it. I even got a local lawyer and did the whole thing. This is my first ever ticket. Never got a ticket before in my life. And I talked to the guy. He was an old cop. He called me into his office and said, "Dude, you really stepped in it." Because not only did I get pulled over by a 29-year-old vetted state trooper cop, but he gave me a judge who was only 2 months new on the job, and he wanted money. He wanted a good case to make a name for himself. I was that case, so.
I thought there's like local laws for people with their first tickets where they give you a leniency plate.
Well, yes and no, but here's the case. I'm driving the FedEx truck all the way up to a little place called Louisiana, Missouri. Yes, I've never heard of it either, but apparently it exists. It's like an hour and a half north of here. They have no paved roads. It's all gravel. They have no streetlights, nothing. It's like the boonies. Like, Stephen Rice would probably blush looking at this.
It's like Mayberry.
Yeah.
So when I'm on gravel roads, yes, I go 94 miles an hour as well when I'm in a FedEx truck.
It wasn't,
Hey, you're lucky you weren't in Arizona. 15 miles over is criminal speeding.
Well, it wasn't on the gravel road. This was on a public highway. I had just gotten off the gravel roads. But you're going down pikes and through trees and up hills and mountains trying to find this, washed out roads, the whole thing.
At 94?
No.
Oh.
I did 94 on the highway, not on the pikes. You have to go through all these pikes, so it takes an hour and a half for me just to get up there. And then I'm going through all these pikes, doing all these deliveries. So by the time I get home some nights, it's like 8, 9 o'clock. And I had found out real quickly, when it gets dark up there, I've got photos. When it gets dark, you don't see anything past your headlights. Nothing. Like, there was a tree that jumped out at me that scared the shit out of me. Like, it's that bad. You can't see them trees, man. So, yeah, you're trying to get this done so you don't wind up getting stuck out there. So I'm coming back on the highway trying to get back home, and I just was tired, I was hungry, wasn't thinking. A cop caught me, pulled me over, and I had to show up in court. And my judge couldn't get me out of it. He tried pulling some strings. He's like, look, we're going to have to show up in court. I already put in a plea guilty thing. We'll make it work. I showed up there. I drove an hour and a half up there on a day off, sit in court, suit and tie. And I actually wound up sitting next to my lawyer, like up in the front, like where you're supposed to sit at the podium. And he's like, you're not supposed to sit up here. You're supposed to sit in the back. I'm like, oh, sorry. I've never done this before. So I look stupid first off. And then I sit there. The judge looks at it, and my lawyer basically says it's a first offender, and he threw everything at the judge. He's like, I'm willing to pay the ticket. I'm willing to take a defensive driving course. I'm willing to do 2 days of community service, and I'm willing to make a donation to the state patrol if I have to. He threw all the options at me. The judge looks at it and says, this is an interesting case here, Will. My lawyer, Will. He's like, this is interesting. Let's go talk about it. They walk behind the door. 3 minutes into a conversation, judge walks back out, lawyer calls me up, and I'm just sitting there in front of the judge. Judge looks at me, so 94 on a highway, huh? And I'm like, yes, sir. And he's like, what on God's earth were you trying to go that fast for? I'm like, can't really give any good other reason besides tired, hungry, and, every once in a while you gotta let the horses out, right? I tried to crack a joke.
Please tell me he didn't say that. Oh my gosh, you said that. Jeez,
he chuckled a little bit. He looked at it and he's like, well, you got one heck of a young, spirited kid here with you, but let me talk with some of the other guys and we'll reconvene. So he wanted to make a second court case for December 16th. And so I was going to have to drive all the way back up there, and Will talked to me and said, no, you don't have to drive back up here, I'll take care of it. Nothing came of it. On the 16th, they said because of COVID, and it being later, they're like, well, we're only letting emergency cases in the courthouse. Again, this is a courthouse all the way up in Pike County, population 800 maybe.
-5.
It's in the middle of.
Wait. It's Louisiana, so it's not county, it's parish. I know this. I'm from New Orleans.
No. Louisiana.
I'm fucking with you. I'm just messing with you.
But it's like they're wannabe Louisiana people. That's kind of why it's called Louisiana, Missouri. But in all honesty, it's like they're not opening it up for emergencies. That's the only thing. And the
wait, Mason. What does that mean? They're wannabe Louisiana people. Keep in mind, I'm from New Orleans. Explain yourself.
These are the people
I live in Los Angeles, but I'm from New Orleans.
Okay. Have you seen Adam Sandler's movie Waterboy?
Yes, I have.
They wish they could live in his house.
Do I sound like Adam Sandler in Waterworld?
No.
Tread lightly. He prints a lot of stuff for you.
Mason, you know that shit. I might have to come after you if you make fun of the people down there from Louisiana.
But
so
my
you know
mama,
that, okay?
my mama said.
All right, we're moving on.
So they don't have anything going on up there besides like emergency stuff, and the judge didn't come up with a decision yet. So my lawyer calls me and says, "Hey, we'll call him later in the week and we'll see if we get anything until we get something back." A few days later, I get this letter in the mail, and it says, basically, pay $805 for the ticket, and you have to pay in cash. Can't pay online, can't pay with a card. So I gotta drive all the way back up there and deliver that before March, or else I get fined a bunch, and it goes to debt collectors or whatever. I have to pay for that, and I have to pass an online defensive driving course that I also have to pay for, which is like another $40, and I'm taking that right now. And I have to print off. Yeah, and I gotta print off a certificate with the money and hand it to them in person at the courthouse, all the way up there in the middle of nowhere.
When
They
you're
don't
on
have
that
internet,
trip,
they
do
don't have
not
anything.
drive 94.
Well, hey, from what my lawyer told me, he's like, this is actually fairly decent because I could have gotten also hit with picking up trash on the side of the road, and I probably could have wound up going to jail for a few days because that's like a really bad speed.
It's not decent, Mason. He just fucked up and wants you to think you didn't get screwed by him.
Well,
Mason, I mean, I wonder if this is all just because you made that little comment about sometimes you gotta open it up.
No, well,
I told you when I got arrested by our friends over at Area 51, I was yes sir and no sir the whole time. I still got an $800-some ticket.
You got arrested? Why, Andy? When was this?
2005, March 11th. 12th.
Why were you
March.
there?
I wanted to see how close I could get.
He was looking.
I got too close.
Did you break in?
Well, I crossed the border line.
And you knew you shouldn't do that, right?
Yes, Tom. Well, I didn't know exactly where I was. I mean, if you've ever been out there, it's all desert. So you really don't see where you're not supposed to be until it's too late. And it was too late when a very large truck came down and told me to put my hands up. So, yeah. I learned a lot.
That's what it was like during Katrina when I drove down the middle of downtown New Orleans and the military
You don't-
came up.
You don't mess with the
armed
American.
from the gun at me.
You don't mess with the United States
hey,
military.
At least Andy didn't get at least he didn't get deported out of the state.
Well, from what I heard, the ticket itself was an easy way out. From what I've heard, from what could have happened, should have happened, was my car should have been impounded. Like there was a lot more worse things that could have happened. Mind you, this was 4 years after 9/11. So I was just stupid. But I just had moved to Las Vegas. Area 51 is about 2 hours north drive. I wanted to check it out, so I did. But I didn't do my research first.
Is that on your permanent record? Like, is that still like?
That's a good question. Like when I started, getting, applying for jobs or whatever and stuff, where it says like criminal record, like what do you fill out? I never really knew what to put there, so I always just didn't, because I thought that's not something I want to discuss in a job interview. So
Andy, no one ever walked up to you and said, "We see here this A51 clause."
It never came up
on your record. Could you please explain to me exactly what you mean by wanted to get closer?
Yeah.
He wanted to find an alien girlfriend.
Well, I
Mason,
wanted to get closer.
Speaking of that, did you do 94 every time you went back there to go to the court cases?
No. I mean, no. Are we still live, Andy?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I didn't do 94 on the way back.
I don't think anybody watches our shows.
But you definitely have to speed going down those pikes to get to people's houses. There's no other way to do it. You have to. You're not going to get it done otherwise. But if I pay this ticket...
You're FedEx, you're not supposed to get it done. I've never got a package on time. Are you kidding me? That's just the thing.
Dude, I always get packages on time. FedEx is great. But hey, so when do you get off this shit route and get something decent?
Well, I've gotten some decent routes before. After that, I've gotten better routes that are closer, but it's literally one of those things like, well, you know the route now, so anytime we can't get anyone else to do it, we're going to call you, because nobody wants to do it. Everybody knows that that is the route that's going to kill all your time. You're going to be out all night. Nobody wants to do it.
You get paid by the delivery or by the hour or what? How's that work?
So you get paid with my contractor. You get $150 a day regardless. As long as you drive, you get $150 a day. And then because it's the holiday season, depending on the contract that you signed, I'm newer, so I got a little bit less, but I get $150 a day, and then I get $1.25 per stop. So I get like 40-something stops with that route. But then throughout some of the holidays, they also gave me like in-town Troy and Moscow Mills. Those areas you'll probably carry, instead of 30 and 40 packages, you'll probably, or 30 or 40 stops, you'll probably have more like 70, 80, or 90. And, you know, they'll be closer together. You're not driving as far.
So you're making a ton more money than you used to.
That's why I got the new lower control arms and coilovers and all this fancy stuff for the car.
Dude, I'm glad. We've been trying to tell you that for a long time, that you were getting fucked. I'm really glad you're doing so well. You must feel like a fucking millionaire.
Oh, I feel like I'm actually getting by and saving money now.
Yeah, Mason, make sure you save some of it. Don't put everything in that car.
I know. I'm saving a little bit.
I know it goes against every 5-year mean, but slow and steady is going to win that race, because you know you got away with it this time. Imagine having to do it again, because you would not get medians.
Oh, you mean speeding?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you show up in front of that judge again with that same issue, they're going to throw the book at you.
Oh, yeah. I've never gotten a ticket, and I've never sped before in my life. This job is giving me the habit of speeding, because you gotta get it done.
Hey Brandon, while I agree with you about the don't put it all in the DeLorean, it's way better than, you know, people who put it all into a fucking Honda Civic or something.
No, I know. I know. I'm just saying, like, I'm saying save. Save a percentage of it so you can live.
I totally agree with you, but it's just funny when you see people put like 10 grand in their like $2 grand Honda Civic, you know, and it's like, dude.
Well, let's be honest. I thought that was just rich high school kids with parents' money that just wanted to deck out their Honda Civic Type R or whatever and just make it.
No, Mason. That's kids with Mustangs. Get it right.
Mustangs, okay. But yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna try to put all of my money into it. I'm trying to be somewhat resourceful with it, but I am making a lot of money from my Tesla stock, so I'm happy about that. I put $400 or $500 into Tesla stock, and then it broke off into 4 different shares, and now it's at $3,300. So
that is awesome.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, that's my retirement fund. I'm not touching that because FedEx does not offer any retirement plans. They don't have a 401k, so
they want you to drive until you die.
But also, Mason, I expect you won't. 25 years from now, you won't be at FedEx. So.
No.
Hey, Mason. I got a movie for you. You should watch.
What, Andy?
I got a movie for you. You've probably never seen. It's a great movie, especially since you're in FedEx. Have you ever seen Castaway?
Oh, yeah.
It's a cautionary tale of flying anywhere with Tom Hanks.
It's a great movie.
Actually, Andy, my friend, has the dead FedEx body.
Ew, really?
Of course.
Gosh.
What was there shipping damage on it?
That's funny.
I tripped on the body, actually, because it was in cellophane, and I was, like, walking through her office, and I tripped on it. I'm like, what the hell is that? And she's like, oh, it's the FedEx pilot from Castaway. I'm like, oh.
Where is Wilson at? That would be something.
There are multiple Wilsons.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they make more than one of almost everything. Not that
Yeah,
body.
that's true.
But yeah, there are multiple Wilsons. They've been auctioned off.
Huh. Have you ever seen that movie, Mason? I was just kidding, but
I've seen Castaway. It's been a long time.
It's a FedEx. It's a FedEx classic.
FedEx classic.
feel-good movie of the year.
I think your double feature is Castaway and then Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
I gotta watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I still need to watch that. I introduced somebody to Office Space the other day.
Yes. Great movie.
Up there.
Oh, there's a Wilson. Look at that. David has a Wilson. Ah.
But I can't see where that.
At the top of the.
At McFly Dallas.
I'm trying to find it because on iPads it sucks. Oh, there it is.
Thank you.
I can't get any closer at the moment.
Oh, I can see it.
Yeah, that's the hoverboard there, and.
Oh, you have a.
Pitbull.
Tell me the story of the pit bull. Did you make that too?
Well, it's still being made. So I'm not done with it yet. I have the
Awesome.
I have the brackets I put underneath it, and then the rockets and such.
What's
So
it made of?
This is foam board.
Foam board. Yep.
Yeah, foam core board.
Oh.
Basically, that's how I make power boards. It's so light, you actually hang it by fishing string like this.
Is that a? Do I see a Doctor Who? To the right. Oh, you're a Who fan.
Yep.
I think we just became best friends.
Time travel by any means.
You know, I own 3 TARDISes.
This is like Andy's stepbrother's moment right now.
Oh, you have another one. It is. Can we go in the what's the line? Do you want to go in the garage and do karate? Yep.
That's the Marty's 55 jacket.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep. All right, everybody. I think I'm gonna retire.
That's great
for the evening now myself.
Hey, Brandon, real quick, when is Orville coming out?
We don't have a release date.
There's
yet.
no release date yet.
I got an email yesterday saying that they're delaying us. We were supposed to start back up again on Friday, and they're delaying us for 2 more weeks due to the outbreak in LA. So
How did Discovery come? Star Trek Discovery come out, but Orville hasn't come out yet? What's the deal there?
Because they finished filming before the pandemic hit.
Oh.
They only had pickup shoots. We'd only filmed.
That makes sense.
A handful of episodes.
Okay.
So we still had about 65% of the show left to go.
See, I haven't started Discovery season. What are they on? 3, but I'm waiting for Orville. That's what I like. I like Orville so much better.
It's going. But anyhow, good to see everybody. Robert, good to see you too. I didn't catch what you were talking about earlier, but hopefully it'll be on Facebook or something so I can see it.
It says Bob for something.
This is for you.